The Matchday Stadium for the big one from Sky Bet League One. It's second place Leyton Orient against third place Brentford. The team's all ready to walk out into what is a terrific atmosphere here. In the meantime, let's hear from both managers. They've been speaking with Jonathan Oakes.
Well, Russell, just put into context how big a game this is for you. The biggest since you arrived at this club 4 years ago?
Possibly, yeah, but I mean, it's a very, very important 3 points. We all know that, the club knows that, the fans know that, the chairman knows that, but it's a big game for both clubs, and it's the sort of games that you want to be taking place in, isn't it?
It's obviously a very important game, there's no doubt in that fact. We're in good position right now, have a couple of games in hand, so a win here obviously puts us in good position, and for the first time, hopefully a little bit of daylight.
You've got a very good record against Brentford recently, winning the last 4 games here, beating them away from home earlier this season. Could that inspire you?
Well, I hope it inspires the players. They're the most important bodies out there today, but it doesn't count for an awful lot. You know, it's 0-0, starts 0-0, and it's a very important 90 minutes for both clubs, obviously.
I think the boys have had a tremendous achievement. I think it's 1 defeat in 23 games, a testament to their application, their quality, etc. For us, it's a case of doing what we do best, come here, hopefully dictating the game in our manner, and looking to play the way we want to play the game. And if we do that, we'll be in good shape.
The team's got to be brave, the bravest team, maybe the team with the belief that they can go on and do it, and I think that's very important at this stage. Sometimes you've got to be able to win ugly, and it might not be the greatest game, but you've got to stay in there, you've got to win. It's about winning football matches at this stage.
I think going to enjoy it. They're in good, as I said, they're fit, they're ready. 2 good home performances, and looking forward to a good display today.
60 miles separate them here in London, but just 1 point and 1 place in Sky Bet League One. Huge amount of anticipation. It's a sellout here at the Matchroom Stadium, and your commentators are Don Goodman and first Bill Leslie.
Thanks, Simon. Yes, as well as everything else, we've got 2 sides on show here who've had pretty good weeks so far. Orient coming into this on the back of a solid win at Port Vale on Tuesday night. Midfielder Romain Vasselon has been struggling with a foot injury since then. He picked it up in the game, but he has been past fit to start. Not so centre-half Mathieu Baudry, he's still out with a hamstring problem. Up front, Kevin Lisby returns to the side in place of Chris Dagnall. That is the only change from the midweek win. Keeper Eldin Jakubovic is on loan from Premier League Hull City. 4 clean sheets in his last 5 games, helping get the O's right back on track. Brentford also bouncing into this one on the back of a midweek win. They make 2 changes to the side that started their victory over Tranmere. Harley Dean can't force his way back into the defence just yet, so the partnership of January arrival James Tarkowski and Tony Craig continues at the heart of defence. Adam Forshaw returns to the midfield as his back problem has eased, and at the other end, top scorer Clayton Donaldson, joined by Marcelo Trotta, who's back in the starting lineup for the first time in 3 games. Sean Batt scored off the bench to seal the win against Brentford back at Griffin Park in September. He's among the substitutes again today. Striker Will Grigg has started the last 2 games for the Bees, but he makes way this afternoon. Leyton Orient, top scorers in the Football League, but they're up against a very sturdy Brentford defence today. Don, opening that defence is going to be key, and you think this fella could have a big bearing on that?
Well, I think he could, and judging by Russell Slade's pre-match interview, he expects a really tight game, and in tight games you need somebody that can produce something extra special, a free kick, a long-range shot, and this boy certainly falls into that category.
Well, Harley Dean has been a regular at the back for Brentford, but not so since the arrival of this fella from Oldham, James Tarkowski.
Well, I saw him play away against Preston for Oldham earlier in the season, and I think this is a sign of the times at Brentford. They must have been in really hard competition with many, many big clubs to sign him. Very talented boy, and he's got a big job on his hands facing that Orient front 4 today.
Well, it usually captures the imagination, this fixture, when West London comes to East. One of the standout fixtures for both sets of supporters. Add the lie of the land at the top of Sky Bet League One, and you have a sellout at Brisbane Road for the first time this season. You have a match that really carries about it the feel of a playoff. And with Leyton Orient having played 2 games more than their guests from the West, it's they who really cannot afford to lose if they are going to harbour hopes of automatic promotion, and both these 2 certainly do that. It'll be Brentford who get us underway in their change strip of yellow and blue. Just 1 defeat in their last 23 games. We always hark back to the extraordinary scenes that they had to undergo at the end of last season with Marcelo Trotta, who lines up for them today, missing the penalty. was going to go one of two ways for them after that, but it's galvanised. They've regrouped. They haven't missed a beat as they change manager. Uwe Rosler going up to Wigan and Mark Warburton taking over. And now they're ready for the final push to make sure they don't have to undergo the playoffs again.
Well, they will not fancy that. They must dread the thought of the playoffs, actually. Brentford, their recent record, not been great, but they do say you can only have things in your own hand, can't you? That's the best place to be, and that's certainly where Mark Warburton and Brentford are. They know if they can come here and win, that would give them a massive advantage going into that run-in.
And certainly the message coming from Mr. Mourinho's office at Stamford Bridge, isn't it? Much better to have the ability to win your games rather than have the points on the board. It is certainly one that divides opinion. Here's McCormack for Brentford. Douglas, the experienced heartbeat of that midfield. Donaldson coming in from the right. The Leyton Orient captain Nathan Clark trotting across to try and cut him out. Here's Tarkowski. Tony Craig. Bigwell making a good run forward. There'll be some fascinating individual battles here, despite the fact they're lining up with differing formations, Don.
Oh yeah, there will be. Obviously, it goes without saying, really important that your side comes out on top in most of those individual battles.
There's a lot of pace down the flanks, isn't there, when you look at both lineups?
There is. There's a lot of ability out there, there's no question. I mean, the top of League One has just set such an incredible, remarkable pace. I mean, all three of the clubs that we expect to fight it out for the top two shown character in abundance.
Masuzi outmanoeuvred, and first touch, an awkward one as well for Eldin Jakupovic. It was bouncing just ahead of him.
If you're going to be successful, you need to have a decent goalkeeper. You need to be reasonably good at both ends of the pitch, and certainly both of these clubs, both of these teams fall into that category. They've got goals out there, very difficult to break down as well.
Here's Masuzi. We talked about the way that Brentford are where they are. When you look at Leyton Orient, they had that blistering start to the season, best in the club's history. Everyone has been waiting for them to fall away. Many thought it had happened last month when they lost 3 in a row. They've rallied 4 wins in the last 5 games. They are not going to go without a fight.
People have been waiting for them, haven't they, to slip up.
Lovely time from Trotter, still going. Clayton Donaldson dragging it wide.
He had a bit of a barren run, didn't he, a few games ago? Went 6 without a goal, but the last couple of victories he's contributed with goals, and he'll be feeling an awful lot more confident for that.
Well, it's not often that the sold-out signs have gone up here at what they call these days the Matchroom Stadium. Brisbane Road still to most. So every vantage point is taken. Flats in all 4 corners of the ground here, part of the redevelopment. Here's Douglas in the heart of midfield for Brentford.
Just delayed his pass too long. McCormack had made a good run on that right-hand side from full-back. Holds his hand up in apology.
Already contrasting means of refreshment at just about noon on various balconies around Brisbane Road.
Spotted it, eh?
I think we'll hope that's not his flat. He lives in one of the ones on the corner. His family's still up north, where he hails from.
He's done a magnificent job, hasn't he? Already 3 points, I think, ahead of the entirety of last season, where they finished 7th.
Trotter's heavy touch. We're seeing a few overhit passes in these opening 5 minutes or so. Don, is that just a case of players just adjusting to the occasion?
Possibly is. I think certainly Brentford have settled down slightly, the better of the two teams. We, again, heard from Russell Slade, didn't we? He expected it may be a tight game. It doesn't matter how you win it. Winning ugly, it's all about the points at this stage of the season.
Trotter and Donaldson combining well. Here's Clayton Donaldson, 3 red shirts around him, and that's left space for Trotter to come across. It was well tidied up in the end. And Omozuzi, as he went to carry out, was brought down by Adam Forshaw. Bobby Madley, the referee here.
I don't think there's any doubt. In 9 times out of 10, that's a yellow card, isn't it? But I think Bobby Madley maybe using a little bit of common sense, taking the occasion into consideration and knowing if he starts dishing yellow cards out after 6 minutes for that, he may well have to produce plenty more. But by most people's standards, it is worthy of a yellow card.
Closing down. Little pocket of space here that Judge will surge into. Donaldson now. McCormack with the overlapping run. Well, tracked back by Dean Cox, but they haven't got it away. Saville will get another go. The unload Chelsea man Saville. Broken up by Vancelot. Now the home side can think about getting forward. Cox looking for the run of Lisby. That was well read by Tarkowski. Cox, who scored a lovely goal in that win up at Port Vale. It was their first win at Vale Park for 57 years. Here's Omozuzi. Odebajo. Mooney. Omozuzi making the run. Bidwell just preventing the corner.
Well, that is much better. That is the best minute or so that Leyton Orient have enjoyed in this game. Good pass into the front, held up well by Mooney. Waits for the run from Odebajo. Slightly overhit pass. Nevertheless, Orient, probably for the first time in the game, on the front foot.
Long throw from Clark. Bidwell can meet it. Take 3 for the Leyton Orient skipper. Craig Rise that time.
It's Tame, very, very easy for David Button in the goal to catch that, set his team on the way forward.
Nathan Donaldson saying he wanted the ball played over his head for him to chase down. I'm having to check it.
A dangerous game they've just played there. Leyton Orient giving away a needless corner. He's inviting the 2 central defenders, Brentford, forward.
Taken short to Forshaw. McCormack. Bright sunlight as Tarkowski tries to control it. Judge. Did really well to get that one in. Forshaw. Setting a little bit of pressure here, Brentford. I'm sure Bidwell will make up the ground against the pacey Elliot Omozuzi. Odebajo clears away. And here's Rooney. An offside flag here against Lisby. It's Mooney! It was clever, but it was always sailing over.
Well, there's that first glimpse of the link-up play between the two forwards, isn't it? Mooney and Lisby. Times his run really well, stays onside, just can't quite get in behind the defender. Cuts inside, Mooney in support, goes for the elaborate maybe. If he had his chance again, David Mooney would choose to put his foot through this, opt for power. Very difficult to score from there.
Well, it was from the penalty spot that he set Leyton Orient on the way back in September at Griffin Park. Lisby, a 35-year-old who's already signed up for another season here at Leyton Orient. Real talisman for the club. Scott Cuthbert. Clark. Forshaw pressing. McCormack hasn't got that one quite right. That'll be a free kick to Leyton Orient.
He's angry with his goalkeeper, it seems. And McCormack, I think, high bouncing ball. Wanted Tarkowski maybe to head it back to the goalkeeper, didn't. He goes to hook it, the right back, gets it horribly wrong and ends up giving a free kick away. We spoke about these set pieces, didn't we? Spoke about the quality of Dean Cox on that right foot.
Nathan Clark has come up from the back, got his first goal for the club in the win at Vale Park. Delivered by Cox. Lisby nearly got that. Made by Tony Craig.
He didn't let us down, did he? That is a wonderful delivery into a dangerous area. Inviting his teammates to attack it. Possible for the goalkeeper to come. I have to say Jake Bidwell, the left back, did well in defending that.
Douglas got his head to that one. Vancelot deflected wide.
And he gets a little bit lucky because he gets his attempted volley horribly wrong, doesn't he, Roman? Vancelot, I think this is going harmlessly wide. It is. Doesn't connect the way he would want, but they get a second bite of the cherry. Consolation of a corner.
Cox corner, it's loose. Maybe a hint for handball there as Tony Craig went in.
Well, I'm really not sure that he knew anything about it, even regardless of whether it hits his hand or not. The ball's headed down, it comes to Mooney, goes to hook it. No, I don't think referees can give penalties for that. Maybe Brentford get a little bit lucky with the bounce.
Mooney feeling that that should have been academic. There was a chance for him to get a touch in there anyway. McCormack, a touch from Saville. Dean Cox. Oh, Dean Cox just wide.
He's getting more and more influential as the game wears on, and as Orient actually make their way into the game. A wonderful effort. Works the space really well. Good quick feet. Half a yard, pulls the trigger, not too far wide.
Forshaw going forward from midfield again. Here's McCormack. Forshaw. Craig into the feet of Trotter. Tried that turn again. Nearly paid off in the opening minutes. Not quite so close to doing so there. Donaldson. Tony Craig. Forshaw. Bidwell. Lead into play by Leyton Orient to get it back to Dean Cox. There's a chase here for Lisby. And David Button is out to the edge of his area. He's going to get Clayton Donaldson down the channel. He'll get there first. He won't pick out Trotter. Lancelot. Odubajo.
It's been a strange game, really, isn't it? In that Brentford settled best, they're enjoying more of the ball, that is for sure. It's almost like Leyton Orient have playing a little bit like the away team, looking to counter-attack Brentford. And they turn the ball over, but even though Brentford have enjoyed the more possession, it is Leyton Orient that have been maybe asking one or two more questions. Look at that, 4 attempts to Brentford's 1. The big thing is, a disappointing thing, neither goalkeeper been worked yet.
Douglas. McCormack, former colleague at Swindon Town. Forshaw dipping his shoulder to take him away from the lunging Lancelot. Bidwell tracked every step of the way by Moses Odubajo.
Oh, there's that team ethic. He really wants to be going the other way, doesn't he, Moses Odubajo? But he knows he's got to track Bidwell's run. Does well for his team. Good, honest work.
Bypassed everyone inside the penalty area. This is Scott Cuthbert. And he kicked through the ball, and as the challenge went in on him, you could hear the anguished cry of pain. He's up and okay. It's a card for Tarkowski, though.
He's a defender, isn't he? He came up for the corner and found himself closing down. Goes to get the block in. And you're always running the risk, if you don't get the block in, defenders follow through, will catch you. And referees will always pull you up.
Into the 19th minute of the match, the first yellow card shown to James Tarkowski. His 4th game for the club. They're yet to concede a goal since he has started a match in the previous 3. Lively from Dean Cox. Mooney can turn. Odubajo looking for Lisby.
Once again, it's really good defending because they know the ball in is very, very good. And they know that Kevin Lisby can spring quite well. Gets a few headed goals, but use their bodies well, don't they? Tarkowski jumps a little bit into the space where Lisby wants to. And make sure he doesn't get his head on it. It's good defending.
Odubajo. Here comes on Mazuzi.
Yeah, it's the right idea. He was just a little bit on his
trouble there. The referee will have spotted him kicking the ball away. Don't do it again.
Little warning. Little warning from Bobby Madley. He's using common sense. It's really good to see.
Otto ran into a lake of red shirts. It's a loose clearance by Button. Sizing his options up. Odubajo. And by Lloyd James, not a bad one. A slip from McCormack. Dean Cox has support from Sawyer behind him, should he require it. Well, as you can see, he doesn't. Pulled down just outside the box, was he, by McCormack? Well, Bobby Matley didn't think so.
Oh, he was perfectly placed. The referee not far at all from that incident.
Oh, loose touch from Forshaw. He's lost out. Here's Mooney. Here he comes across. Tarkowski. And that will be a free kick right on the edge of the D.
Well, he's got to be careful as well, hasn't he? Already yellow-carded, James Tarkowski. That's where Mooney just didn't have the pace to get away from the defenders, but reacted well to the loose ball, got his body in between man and ball, and drew the challenge. Tarkowski, just a little nudge. I mean, goes down very easily, it has to be said, but what a wonderful situation.
Expecting Cox to be there or thereabouts when it comes to an opportunity like this, but it looks like it's going to be Sawyer or Lloyd James who will take it.
It's central, so it's difficult for the goalkeeper to know whether right foot or left foot is going to take this.
Morata being slid to the side to Dean Cox, who's standing now on the towards the left corner of the penalty area. Sawyer goes low. The wall isn't high enough with its leap to allow it to creep under.
He expected the wall to jump there, didn't he? Slowly but surely they are growing the home team into this game. And the manager's approval, and the crowd's approval, working extremely hard.
This is Saddle into the path of Clayton Donaldson. What a ball! And there was some good goalkeeping by Jakupovic. A lovely pass from the on-loan Chelsea midfielder to release Clayton Donaldson.
Oh, there's the danger. Leyton Orient face. He's got pace to burn, hasn't he? Clayton Donaldson times his run wonderfully well. It's a super ball down the side. He's clearly got the pace. And he just wondered for a second whether or not he would elect to go round the goalkeeper, who's out really quickly. Jakupovic goes for the little toe poke. Goalkeeper does really, really well. First big save of the game.
Bidwell by Douglas. Batsenot held himself at that one. James. Well-timed run this from Dean Cox. He's got Lisby in the middle, but he's not going to find a way to get there due to Tony Craig's alert defending.
Again, it's simplicity, pure simplicity. It's a ball helped into the space, and midfield runner gets in behind the defence, but I've got to give credit to Tony Craig, the Brentford skipper. Good defending again.
Dean Cox's header from the edge of the penalty area. That really would have been a story.
Well, I don't think he meant the ball to come to his head. I think the plan there was for a volley. Found himself in all kinds of space.
And when you're around 5'5", the margins are a little reduced in that
slightly
respect.
lessened, don't they?
Mazzuzi. This is Odebacho. Glorious day in East London for this London derby that has so much bearing at the top of the Sky Bet League One table. Just a point between these two, but those 2 games in hand for Brentford. I mean, the advantage is theirs. Just 10 games left to play for the O's after this one. So there's an extra sort of urgency that creeps in when you look at the number of games to go, and it's into single figures. We're in that territory almost now.
We are. It's contrasting situations that these two clubs have got coming up as well. 4 of the next 6 games for Leyton Orient are here at home. As for Brentford, this is the first of 4 or 5 away games in the next 5. So delicately poised, it really is.
They may not mind that though, Brentford. Under Mark Warburton, they're yet to lose an away game. They haven't lost away since October when they were edged out 2-1 at Stevenage. Lisby will leave it. It's Dean Cox.
Oh, brilliant, lovely link-up play again. Between 3 of the front 4, isn't it? Odebajo into Lisby, lovely little flick, and Cox takes it first time. Maybe doesn't get quite the strike that he was looking for.
70 goals they've scored, Leyton Orient, in their 36 league games so far, the best in the Football League. And Tottenham talked about their front 4. You look at Moses Odebajo on one side, he's got his best ever scoring season. Dean Cox, one more, it's his best ever scoring season. Kevin Lisby, 14 goals in all competitions, and David Mooney also enjoying his best ever campaign.
We're seeing there why Leyton Orient are the Football League's top scorers, aren't we? 7 attempts against one of the top opposition in this league already. Law of averages, isn't it?
Well, you keep on knocking, eventually you find a way through.
Absolutely.
That's the thinking anyway.
Yeah, definitely.
Brentford have obviously got the formula to succeed away from home. Judging from what I guess Sam Saunders was saying earlier, it's pretty much the same home or away approach the match in a similar way.
Well, that's been the key difference from this season to last, is the away form has been exceptional. They've only lost a couple of times all season. Bradford and Stevenage, and the last defeat away from home mid-October.
Trotter, Donaldson. Judge got a nudge. And the referee didn't see it that way. Chance for Bidwell to surge forward. Jakupovic has come a long way. Oh, he's dropped it. Not for long though.
Well, he's not happy, the goalkeeper. I don't know why he's not happy. He did drop the ball, and Bidwell was alert enough to try and take advantage of it. Watch this as he comes down. Well, maybe he feels Bidwell knocked it out of his hands, and maybe he's got a point. Got to keep you cool, though. Got to keep you cool.
Well, we know that you can rattle his cage, Elvin Jakupovic. Remember a game last season, and he was in goal for Hull City. Sheffield Wednesday went to the KC Stadium and won. Ended up throwing one into his own net, and they really got under his skin. Last time he's played a league game for Hull, incidentally. And the flashpoint at the other end of the pitch. This time it's Alan McCormack who is unhappy. Dean Cox, the other side of that equation.
Oh, smiling, aren't they? They've two very experienced competitors, two fiery competitors. Will to win. There's your little collision. McCormack not overly happy. I see the funny side at the end of it, which is good to see.
Plenty of posturing, fortunately not too much else. This is a London derby after all. Approaching the half-hour mark, goalless. Bidwell. Judge. This is Saville. Omazuzi away. Donaldson, no offside flag here. He's looking for Trotter, but Cuthbert knew that was exactly his intention.
Well, he really is timing those runs exceptionally well, isn't he, Clayton Donaldson? He is causing Leyton Orient one or two problems in behind. This ball is played, look, perfectly timed run. Looking again to cut the ball back into a dangerous area, but it's well defended by Cuthbert.
Wonderful weekend of live action for you from the Barclays Premier League as part of Magnificent March. Manchester United against Liverpool, live from Old Trafford, 12:30, Sky Sports 1 and Sky 3D. And then it's back to the capital, the North London derby, Tottenham against Arsenal, 3:30, Sky Sports 1.
I think he's right again. I mean, Alan McCormack can't quite believe it, but he's been jolly on the spot. Bobby Madley, my first impressions are that McCormack has pulled him back, then he has a lunge there, kicks the ball, knocks him off balance, and you can understand why the referee has given a foul for that.
And there's plenty for Dean Cox to try and pick out here. So defended by the visitors. Douglas will try to run it out. Back in by Sawyer, away by McCormack. Clayton Donaldson on the move, if Judge can pick him out. They've also got Forshaw through the middle and Trotter down the left. That might be the ball. Here's Trotter. Now Douglas. Plenty back for Orient behind the ball. Judge.
It's a poor decision. He's got Clayton Donaldson outside him. Donaldson really not happy with Alan Judge's final decision to pull the trigger there. He's much more adept on his stronger left foot, but elects as he gets the ball here. Watch that, he can slot Donaldson down the side and he's in a much better position. Has to pull the trigger, leans back, too high.
Big word in the air for Moses Otabajo, the referee.
Comfortable and confident, aren't they, in possession in that back area with the central defenders, the fullback Jonathan Douglas always available to link and be available for those passes.
Nearly in behind here, but it's cleared away by Clark. Douglas, Trotter, Clark in bravely, but he's lost out. High boot to Leyton Orient's rescue.
Well, it's always a controversial one, isn't it, really? Clearly gets the ball, flicks it over the defender's head. Poor touch that leads to that, isn't it? Doesn't touch, and it is a high boot. Does that mean everybody lifts their boot head height that you should blow for a free kick? I don't know. Again, great view he's got. And that is a very difficult one.
Busby's knock on, looking for Mooney. Omazuzi. Otabajo. That's his pace. And he did have his ankles clipped there by George Saville. That's why the referee's pulled it back.
dangerous, haven't they, from some of these set pieces, the home team. Another opportunity.
On the right boot of Lloyd James. Saville's header bounced back into slightly dangerous territory. It's not like Leyton Donaldson wanted it to end up at the feet of Kevin Lisby. This is Dean Cox. McCormack's closed him down. Trotter's just behind him. That's why Trotter couldn't take it on and build up any more menace.
And that's what we've had. We've had so many nearly moments. Just haven't quite come off for both teams.
When they met earlier on this season, it took well over an hour for the deadlock to be broken. Leyton Orient win actually the exception to the rule. It usually goes with home advantage, this particular derby. It's only away win in the last 13 of these meetings. Saville has it, and fairly. Donaldson. And Donaldson, trying to win it back, has conceded a free kick. And Brentford's fans certainly feeling that a lot of decisions are going against them at the moment.
I don't think he's got too much wrong, I have to say. Pull this back. It's a poor touch there. Look, gets away from him, and he, well, difficult one, isn't he? He does get the ball, I think, Clayton Donaldson, and that's why he's not happy with the decision. Most of his decisions have been spot on this afternoon, although I'm sure he doesn't agree.
Trotter. Lloyd James. Mazuzi. Dean Cox. Lisby.
Some of the players just finding it difficult out there. It's bubbly in certain areas, the pitch. It's really nice in other areas. It's leading to miscontrol and misplaced passes.
Forshaw. You could look at the position at the top of League One. Wolves on their record-breaking run, 9 wins in a row. They host Shrewsbury Town later on this afternoon. One of the 3 o'clock kickoffs in this division. I think that Brentford would be happy to maintain the status quo and that come away here with a point, and that's what would do that. McCormack getting himself involved again. A little bit of pushing and shoving, and it all threatens to boil over on the far side. That's all it is at the moment, pushing and shoving. Vancelon right in the thick of it. The referee needs to get a lid on this. Get a lid on it quickly before someone does something stupid.
Adam Forshaw, who the referee has got hold of, was the first to react. Did not like the challenge made upon him and reacted. And the rest of it sparked from there. It's difficult, isn't it? It's passion. You want passion, you want commitment, but you need discipline, and you must not give the referee any opportunity to send you off for something like that.
Well, the yellow card is out in the hand. That will certainly be brandished. Clayton Donaldson. He looks slightly nonplussed and a little confused by that. Henry Sawyer, the one to have his name taken from an Orient perspective. Well, out of that incident, you could probably pick out a dozen incidents that could have been worthy of a booking. Don't know whether those two just to settle it down, or whether maybe something we haven't spotted yet.
Maybe. Certainly Adam Forshaw was very, very aggressive in his reaction. Didn't like the challenge over on the far side. And he may well have got away with one there. It's a little nudge from Van Salot, and Sawyer tries to scoop the ball. McCormack pushes Sawyer out the way, and Forshaw then gets up and all gets a little bit out of hand. You've got to keep your discipline. I think Clayton Donaldson gets a booking as he puts his hand up in somebody's face.
Well, that is very lucky.
Yeah, he is.
If he's been singled out for a yellow card for that, why would he not be singled out for what is the punishment that fits that particular crime? Anyway, not that we want to see anyone sent off, but here we are.
Well, it was all something
for either side.
Yeah, it was all something and nothing, wasn't it, really? First the tackle, then a push by McCormack, then a reaction by Forshaw, then players coming in from all over the place. That only compounds the problems for officials. So unnecessary.
Well, he kept his distance and bought himself some time there, Bobby Madley. No doubt about that. Clark, long throw. No one was really aware of where it was. In the end, Brentford just needed to get it behind before any real damage was done.
In the main, they've dealt with that long throw, haven't they, with Nathan Clark's, but every now and again, a little bit of panic sets in.
As we were saying earlier about the law of averages, Don. With a bit of variety, back to Dean Cox. One of the best deliveries he's put in this afternoon. Forshaw with a good touch and a solid challenge as well. McCormack away. And this is George Saville now, bringing it out for Brentford. Donaldson's come over to this left, leaving space for Judge on the right. Trotter waits in the middle. Awkward run for Omazuzi.
It's another foul, and Brentford have been guilty of committing most of the fouls and the infringements, and he's got to be careful because he's on a yellow card and he's had a couple of infringements since. He really has got to be careful. And you want commitment, don't you? And you want passion from your players. Mark Warburton probably feels there's a slight imbalance in those statistics there, doesn't it?
There is.
Well, that's true. Like I said, I don't think Bobby Madley has got too much of that wrong.
Forshaw. A little cut above the eye of Tony Craig there by the look of things. He's off getting treatment. From a disciplinary viewpoint, though, just a few flashpoints up and coming. Half-time probably on the corner at just about the right time for the referee.
Perfect. Yeah, absolutely.
In goes Bidwell. Saville. Trotter. Off the heels of Scott Cuthbert. Sure that Tony Craig will be reappearing for this first half, as well as being patched up. He's also got to change his shorts and his shirt because they've got blood on them. 2 minutes for him to do that.
Another incident where Brentford are really unhappy with Bobby Madley. They felt that Clayton Donaldson was making a run through the middle, got blocked off by Nathan Clark, I think it was. Not spotted by the officials. And they really are starting to feel a little bit aggrieved by a lot of the decisions. Watch Donaldson's run there. It's clearly barged into, isn't he? Sawyer, who again is already on a yellow card, isn't he, Gary Sawyer? It's just a dangerous game, and you can see lots and lots of frustration out there. Captain being called over, clearly feels
he's laying down the law. Yeah, cut it out to the captain, and Alan McCormack as well, who well, certainly in his younger days was a hot-headed midfielder before he was reinvented really by Paolo Di Canio at Swindon as a defender.
He's a hot-headed defender.
Slightly more mature, hot-headed defender.
He's been an excellent player, he really has, for Brentford.
Cuthbert. Donaldson. Going away from Redson, but firing it into the back of George Saville. McCormack. Seconds remaining on this first half. Touch from foreshore, Trotter! Right on the stroke of half-time! Marcelo Trotter has squeezed it in for Brentford. What a priceless goal that could be, and what a time to score it!
Well, I wonder how big a goal this could be. What a strike it is. Lovely football. And you have to say, Brentford at times have looked very, very slick. Lovely pass in from McCormack. Flicked around, Trotter spins, gets the return ball, and hits it first time. And there's plenty of power on this shot. And more importantly, it's the accuracy that beats Jakupovic. It's bending away from the goalkeeper, gets a hand to it. Can't quite keep it out. Look at the delay. How big a goal could that be?
It's already his best goal-scoring season, the 21-year-old Italian on his 50th league appearance for Brentford. He has got one that gives him the half-time advantage. When you look at Brentford's season, when they lead at half-time, they win at full-time. That's the way it goes. Now Marcelo Trotter, whose contribution to Brentford's cause is weaved into club folklore after what happened at the end of last season. As we get towards the end of this one, he has popped up with an extremely important goal, really well taken on the stroke of half-time, and it gives Brentford the lead here at Brisbane Road at half-time by 1-0.
As time to score goes, that wasn't bad. Marcelo Trotter's 11th of the season, and in the 19 games that he scored in all competitions this season, Brentford are unbeaten. It is looking good for the Bees heading into half-time. Sam Saunders delighted, as you'd expect. We'll hear from Peter Beagrie, who'll give us the Leyton Orient perspective when we come back. But at times during the first half, tempers were certainly tested. We were wondering if goal-wise it was going to ignite. Well, just before half-time, Trotter, the villain at the end of last season, has ignited this one.
Seconds remaining on this first half. Touch from foreshore, Trotter! Right on the stroke of half-time! Marcelo Trotter has squeezed it in for Brentford. What a priceless goal that could be, and what a time to score it.
So can they hang on? Can Mark Warburton keep this unbeaten away record in the league going? Let's find out once again with Don Goodman and Bill Leslie.
Now, there are plenty of impressive statistics that point towards the fact that Brentford are unlikely to let this one go. No changes, by the way, for either side at half-time. So we'll be as we were in that respect. I'm sure that Russell Slade, though, will have reminded his players during the break that 7 months of hard work have gone into getting them into contention at the top. Having their best season for many a year. You don't want to let it slide away and let this one slide away as well. They will come again. They'll have plenty to say, I'm sure. But this is Donaldson for Brentford. Cuthbert's missed it. Trotter hasn't. Judged it in the middle just before him.
What a chance that is for Trotter to add to it. on his left foot, arriving. Wonderful opportunity. You do feel if they get the second goal, it will be very, very difficult for Leyton Orient to come back from. Once again, it's the movement and the pace of Clayton Donaldson. Look, in behind the Orient defence for another time. Pulls it into a dangerous area. It's missed by the defenders, and that you would expect Marcelo Trotter to do better with that effort. It's on his favourite left foot. Sizes it up, hits it into the ground, and very accurately.
To put into perspective how impressive that lead is, 4 clean sheets in the last 5 games for Leyton Orient. Just 1 goal conceded in that time, and that was here in the win against Colchester. Marcus Bean got it. That's the last goal they conceded before today. Marcelo Trotter has reset that clock.
I have to say, the biggest commodity that they have is character. Nobody has picked up more points from losing positions than Leyton Orient, so this game far from over, and if Brentford are in any way complacent, I'm pretty sure they'll pay the price.
They certainly manoeuvred themselves into more goal-scoring positions in the first half, Leyton Orient. Unable to take them. Usually reliable strike force of Mooney, Cox, Odebajo coming in from one side, and Lisby, although he hasn't been among the goals recently, still has 14 in all competitions. This is McCormack. That's a good ball in to attack. Maybe someone of slightly taller stature than Alan Judge might have made something of it. This is Cox.
It's just a bit stretched now, isn't it? That break there. Orient, now it's Brentford's turn.
That's him up. Good tussle there with George Saville. Eventually the decision going the way of the home side, and that is the story of the piece in terms of free kicks, largely so far in the match. I remember he was in the wars at the end of the first half. The Brentford captain Tony Craig, he's reliably informed, had his cut above his eye glued at half-time. This is Alan Judge for Douglas. McCormack. Forshaw played such an important role in the build-up to that Trotter goal. Tarkowski overrun that, and that could be real trouble. He's been booked already. He's going to be sent off here. Tarkowski, he's already on his way. He's not waiting for the red. Inside the first 4 minutes of the second half, Brentford down to 10.
Well, he pulls his shirt over his face, and he may well do. I don't know what any Brentford player could possibly have to complain about. It's all right having all the ability that we spoke about James Tarkowski, but this is naive. He overruns it and he dives in. That is a really poor decision for a player to make who's already on a yellow card, and he leaves the referee with absolutely no choice whatsoever than to issue a second yellow. Unobstructed view from the referee. Hasn't got a choice. He knows straight away. James Tarkowski, that's a heavy touch. It's a costly heavy touch, isn't it?
How costly, we shall see. Mooney for Leyton Orient. In by Sawyer. Spilled by Button. No free kick, interestingly, as Mooney came across the keeper. Another day might have been given for knocking it out of his hands. Brentford make a change to bolster their defensive ranks. Centre-half Harley Dean back into action alongside Tony Craig.
That's an interesting one. The Trotter hasn't even got off the pitch yet. The substitute has run straight on, Harley Dean.
So he's having to come off. The formalities have to be conducted correctly. And the board's not ready. We drift towards the farcical. There we go. Trotter off. Harley Dean on.
Well, they had to leave Clayton Donaldson on just for his sheer pace, because that may be that they can play the balls into the channels now and ask him to run that Orient defence and get them further up the pitch.
Offside flag there.
Big decision, wasn't it? But an easy one in all reality. I always felt he was very, very naive. Maybe a lack of experience has caused him to make a challenge like that when he's already on a yellow card. He's maybe already caught up in the occasion. Big, big game. Possibly the biggest game that James Tarkowski has played in. But it may well prove very costly.
There's Odebajo. Dean Cox. Headed away by Bidwell and taken away from James too. Lancelot, clever touch by Dean Cox. Odebajo was getting ready to pull the trigger and was blocked away again by the Brentford defence.
Well, they haven't conceded a goal, have they, Brentford, in over 3.5 games now since their defeat at the hands of Wolves. So they'll be confident they can keep a good shape, make life really, really difficult for Leyton Orient. And that's what they must try and do.
Harley Dean underneath it. Dean Cox had the head of that. Forshaw's come across the front of him, clattered him as well. It's going to be a free kick and a yellow card.
No choice for Bobby Manley, the referee, but to issue a yellow card, give a free kick and a yellow card. It's an easy decision that a referee could have. Just seems to be a little bit of a lack of discipline, doesn't they, about Brentford, the way they flared up in that scene over on the far side before half-time.
One or two challenges. A sense of injustice done with the number of decisions going against them.
You still have to keep your discipline. Save your grievances for after the game.
And Mooney getting himself in David Button's way to be an annoyance, you know. He's spoken to by the referee.
Well, the goalkeeper can't see to line up his wall. I think that's what he was annoyed about that. I don't think there are anything in the rules that say that David Mooney can't do that.
Well, this is very much Dean Cox territory. Pass it straight into the wall. James flicking it back in. It's Clark. It's loose. And it's saved by McCormack out of the goal mouth. How did that one stay out for Leyton Orient?
Well, I think it was more by luck than judgment that Brentford kept that out. Is this going to be the pattern for the rest of the game?
Odebajo. Well away by Craig, bravely away as well. They've got the free kick and the relief of the pressure.
And again, you talk about discipline, lack of discipline from Brentford. They got a little bit lucky here. This ball, lovely, clever dink back in. It nearly falls for a number of players in red shirts, doesn't it? Just doesn't quite get that lucky bounce. It's Nathan Clark, the skipper, who had the first chance.
Well, it took him 79 games to get his first goal for the club. He did that up at Port Vale. Found himself in a position where a centre-forward, hey, you never know, has been able to salvage, carve a little more out of the situation.
Well, they've got this wonderful track record, haven't they, of coming from behind. Going back to your point, I think the centre-forward may well have got the shot off quicker, but Leyton Orient coming from behind 6 times to win games already this season. And now they're up against 10 men. It doesn't mean to say that it's going to be easy, but it certainly gives them a better chance of salvaging something here.
look at the big picture. You talk about salvaging the match, you perhaps also talk about salvaging the season. You look at how often Brentford slip up. One defeat in the last 23 games, just one defeat under Mark Warburton's stewardship as manager. It's in by James. The way Wolves are going, you wouldn't imagine that they would drop too many points. That is why this game is so significant.
The reason you can imagine Wolves dropping points from here. There's a little bit of pressure, but in order to keep them under pressure, these two clubs need to keep going at the rate that they are, winning, picking up points, putting the pressure on the top team. And we're trying to work out really what is the best result for Wolves here this afternoon. What would they want, a draw? Which of the two would be better for them to prevail? Very difficult scenario to work out.
On Mazuzi. This is Lloyd James. Clever ball. Lancelot. Now Sawyer.
Well, this is where they've got to stay patient, Leyton Orient. They mustn't feel the need to force the issue too much, make bad decisions. They've got to keep composed.
"40 minutes he will have had up against 10 men of Brentford. Mooney on the move, Craig getting his head to it, but David Mooney. Lancelot's touch, it's Lisby, it's over. Well, you look at similar touches in a similar area of the field. It was Forshaw who set up Trotter's chance in the first half. And the number 4, Leyton Orient here, that Lisby couldn't finish on.
Yeah, he did really well, did Mooney with his movement, lays it in. Little flick there, but it's difficult. He's coming back towards, he's away from the goal. He's trying to swivel his foot, wrap his foot round it. He's under pressure. Difficult chance.
Forshaw. Saville. Space outside for Bidwell, and that was probably the pass, but 20-year-old George Sowell elected to shoot himself.
Bidwell giving him a right earful. That again, talk about naivety from Tarkowski. This is naive as well, because look at the run from Bidwell, the left back. He's only got to wait that pass right. Bidwell would have been in a much better situation, and more importantly, retaining possession.
But getting enough on it to allow Sawyer to clear. Odebacho. Saville's run it back. Donaldson. This is Judge. Bidwell busting a gut to get forward outside, and Judge. Bidwell again
frustrated, isn't he?
Yeah.
It's another from the fullback. 30, 40-yard long busting sprint to get in support of a teammate. Look, if Judge can just hold the ball up, wait for Bidwell to make the overlap again. Better scenario may unfold. Having said all of that, they are enjoying a decent couple of minutes here, Brentford, aren't they? They've got the play away from their final third.
Another good little touch on from Forshaw.
there's only two teams in the Sky Bet League One that have stopped Leyton Orient from scoring all season. And that is Notts County and Preston. They usually have a goal in them. Now his team are going to see an awful lot more of the ball since the last 10 minutes is since that red card for Tarkowski, but it is all about what they do with it. To find a way of being a little bit more creative.
Listen to the applause from the couple of thousand Brentford fans. They sold out their allocation. They're all across there on the far side. They've got the decision. A challenge from Scott Cuthbert.
Well, this is why Clayton Donaldson has been left on the pitch, I'm sure, in preference to Trotter. Pace. And he brings nips ahead of Cuthbert there. He knows he's going to get tackled and earn his team a foul.
Ahead of Lisby, still some clearing to do. Pause for handball, and there may have been a nudge there as well.
Is it Forshaw again? Not sure. On a yellow card. There's a few out there, and they've just got to be a little bit careful.
Sawyer. Battle between McCormack and Cox continues to intrigue. On Mazuzi. There's Lloyd James coming up through the ranks at Southampton with the likes of Theo Walcott and Gareth Bale. That sort of vintage. He was part of that FA Youth Cup when he set up. Well, that's a terrible mistake there by Button. He's got away with it though.
And again, Tony Craig looking at his goalkeeper. Had all the time in the world to come and pick that ball, collect it, take the pressure off.
Donaldson. Going to ground under the challenge of Clark. I'm not sure how much of a challenge there was there. Lisby. The slightest of contacts from Harley Dean, and we don't want to start seeing this creep into the game now.
It's a tangle of legs, there's no question about it. Harley Dean doesn't even make a challenge, but Lisby gets across him. There's a tangle of legs, and most referees will give a foul for this. Striker in front, there's a little clip there. Well, then there's lots and lots of complaints about this and how this wasn't given as a free kick. Just has a little pull at him, doesn't he? Nathan Clark, and the assistant referee was literally 5 yards away from that.
But that's the reason that Brentford have been frustrated.
Yeah, it is.
And by Cox. Cuthbert coming round the back. Quite enough on that, and that is a full-blooded challenge that's been won by Judge. He's away here, Judge. Forshaw coming through the middle. This is Saville. Red shirts flooding back now. And challenge away by Elliot Omazuzi. Chance wasted there, Dom.
Yeah, again, a lovely break. But there was only one thing in Alan Judge's mind, and that was to try and get the shot off.
Craig going for the same ball as Douglas. No harm done. Here's McCormack now. Bidwell. Forshaw's touch to Saville. Donaldson looking for the return. Oh, there was a pullback there by Clark in the box.
That's unbelievable.
Bobby Madley not impressed, but from where we are, that looked a very good shout for a penalty.
And it did, and again, the assistant referee is on this side, so if the referee's on site, surely the assistant has to see that.
Saville going to ground under the challenge of Sawyer. Free kick given for that.
It's becoming a very, very difficult afternoon, isn't it, for the officials? George Saville looking for a penalty here as that ball ricochets. He's pulled down. He really is pulled back. And that is Nathan Clark. Let's have a look at the view. Bobby Madley there. Can he see this through bodies? Maybe he can't. That's the defence of the referee. But what is the defence of the assistant referee? Surely has to see that.
Well, from the angle where we are, high up, just over the halfway line, you could clearly see that the hand of Nathan Clark had a whole lot of George Saville's shirt. Bidwell got too much hang time on that one, and Kukovic, rather than catch it, has put it away for a corner.
He's frustrated with himself. I wonder how big a moment that penalty claim, that penalty that should have been, wasn't given. Got away with it, didn't he?
Ball in, and here's George Saville.
Was unlucky there, really high bounce off the turf. Takes it out of his reach. It's fizzed in, good movement round the back of the defender. Just can't quite reach it. Heavily involved in this penalty shout, wasn't he? Clearly will feel aggrieved. There's the pullback by Nathan Clark. I can understand why Bobby Madley never saw it. A lot of bodies to look through. The assistant referee was this side, should have been able to see that.
Well, James Tarkowski sent off on the 50-minute mark. Here we are at the three-quarter mark of the match, and still the lead that Marcelo Trotta gave them just before half-time is intact. Douglas coming forward, caught by Omazuzi, advantage played. Here's Clayton Donaldson. Judge overshot the runway, but here he is now.
The referee's going back to book Elliot Omazuzi. Challenge in the middle of the pitch. Has a really good advantage here. Bobby Madley, again a defender overrunning the ball. That's when a lot of players get themselves into trouble.
There's no question at the moment of Brentford sitting back, looking for the second, and they have had very reasonable claims for a penalty that might have helped them get there. Time for a change for Leyton Orient. Fullback Sawyer off, striker back on.
Be disappointed, Russell Slade, apart from the first 5 minutes that they had when Tarkowski was sent off, where they pressed Brentford back. Apart from that, Brentford have been reasonably comfortable.
Bidwell losing out to Bat. He has pace and strength, and two men to stop him. And the reshuffled on, it looks like Omazuzi's come to left back. Odebajo's dropped into right back.
Yeah.
And just strengthen the attacking options. Four strung across that front line at the moment. Bat on the right, Lisby and Mooney through the middle, and Dean Cox on the left. Odebajo. Bat. He scored off the bench, remember, in the 2-0 win. And Leyton Orient had at Brentford earlier on this season. They have the numerical advantage in terms of players, but they haven't really been able to test David Button too much.
No, they haven't used it. They're still playing fairly narrow as far as I'm concerned. The width, they need to make the pitch as big as possible, make life difficult for Brentford, and they've got players that can provide that width out there.
Bat. Mazuzi. This is Lisby. Lancelot puts it into a really inviting area.
That's better, isn't it? Getting down the sides, getting crosses in, much better.
Mazuzi. Mooney. Dean Cox was hung up towards the far post. Danger not away yet. Blocked away from Odebajo's effort.
Well, that is much, much better. I'll tell you what, Sean Batt has made a big difference. He's only been on the pitch 2 or 3 minutes, but what a big difference he's made. And this is a ball down the side. Mooney into an area. Cox helps it in. That's really good defending at the far post from Bidwell. And a good save from the keeper to preserve the lead.
Cormac hooks it out. This is James. And this is more the sort of pressure you might expect the 11 men to have against the 10. Loose touch there from Bat, and that'll be a free kick as he tried to force his way beyond Bidwell. Well, a barometer of the significance of this match is that number. To some it may look big, but it's the biggest league attendance here for 21 years.
It's wonderful. And aided and abetted by a big following from Brentford as well, isn't it? It's good to see. They deserve it, don't they? They've had a magnificent season and he'll be thrilled.
Dyke and Barry Hearn, the two with big interests in both clubs, although Craig Dyke no longer quite so involved since he's taken up position at the FA. Very positive week off the field as well for Brentford, with the news yesterday that another hurdle in terms of them building their new stadium at Lionel Road, just near Kew Bridge, has been negotiated. Work, if everything goes according to plan, due to start in the summer. 20,000-seater stadium. Lancelot in the full force of that Saville challenge.
Clayton Donaldson standing with his hat, again appealing to the referee. Can't believe he wasn't awarded another foul. Absolutely in the thick of everything, isn't he?
Lisby. Lancelot. Batted space down the right. Leave it to Odebajo. Now Sean Batt. That's out at source by Saville, who really felt that one. James. Mooney. Blocked by Douglas. The flag's up for offside.
They're just not quite getting it right, are they? Forward end of that pitch.
And Chris Dagnall was replaced in the starting lineup by Kevin Lisby. Just about a quarter of an hour of normal time plus added to play here, and Dagnall comes on.
He's a clever player, isn't he? Quick feet. Likes to get the ball in the box and wriggle and twist and turn defenders. Orient have to get the ball to him in those scenarios.
Donaldson's header. James. Odebajo. Beyond Judge. There'll be a free kick.
15 minutes. They have to salvage what would otherwise be a disappointing result, wouldn't it, for the length of time they're playing against 10 men.
Three in the box here. Cuthbert's one of them. Mooney. Dean Cox.
I know exactly what he was trying to do. Really frustrated with himself. This ball is helped on. Mooney keeps it alive really well. And Dean Cox fancies his chances of wrapping his foot around it, bend it in the far corner. Just doesn't quite get it right. No spin on the ball.
When they had that run of 3 defeats on the bounce last month, 2 of them did come here at home. Lost 4 times in total here this season. Actually picked up more points away than they have here. It's not a time to be losing ground to a big rival, especially a rival with 2 games in hand. A win for Brentford, remember, would take them above the O's, and they would still have the advantage with those number of games to play. Strong challenge there by Saville, and it'll be a throw.
Well, that's what supporters want to see, full-blooded commitment. And certainly Brentford have provided that.
Misunderstanding there at the back by Leyton Orient. They weren't sure whether it was going to be a corner or a goal kick. Elected to leave it to run out. Now they have a corner to face up to.
If you're not sure, don't let it go out. Both the goalkeeper and Odebajo could have saved that from going out for a corner.
Three Brentford players in the box. One of them's Donaldson, though. That's an extraordinary save.
Well, there's 3 Brentford players against, what, 6, 7 Orient. Look at the imbalance there, but Donaldson gets across everyone. And is it a save? Sure. Keeps out amazingly.
Through to Dean Cox. Bagnall couldn't manoeuvre himself into a position to get a meaningful effort away.
Well, big save, and you wonder whether or not this save will keep Leyton Orient in the game. Donaldson does well. Unconventional, isn't it? But somehow manages to get the ball over the bar.
So unconventional that the referee gave a goal kick for that as well.
Absolutely.
Well, what Brentford could take to this if they could see the job through effectively, playing the whole of the second half with just 10 men against the top scorers in the league. To keep them out, what a fillip that would be for the rest of the season, as if they needed one. Still, they look for the second. 4 short. Rather more routine from Eldin Djukupovic. They're bearing down here, the 2 frontmen, Bat and Mooney. But it's David Button who comes to claim.
Sticking to their principles, still rolling the ball out, the goalkeeper to the defenders, trying to keep possession.
Small passages of play like that just eat up a few more seconds. And by Dean Cox, but couldn't quite get there. This is Alan Judge now.
10 minutes to go. They are going to have to start taking some risks and maybe pushing more bodies forward. There are only 2 red shirts trying to get on the end of that cross from Dean Cox. That is nowhere near enough in a situation like this when you've got an extra man on the pitch.
And the concern for Russell Slade and Leyton Orient is even with leaving bodies back, standout opportunities have belonged to Brentford. That was a very good penalty shot and that save from Jakupovic from the Donaldson header. And there is the man in question, Donaldson, trying to drop it into the path of Judge. Bounce challenge, that'll be a free kick.
More seconds ticking off the clock. To say they've been outstanding, haven't they, Brentford, with the 10 men. Midfield runners defended really well. Donaldson has provided an attacking threat. Mark Warburton will be thrilled.
And in the middle here, came off the head of Clark and away for a corner.
Just can't get the ball, really, the home team. Any meaningful volume of possession at the right end of the pitch.
Forshaw's corner. It's for Dagnall, chested down for Bat. Just not quite working out. And Leyton Orient, they can't get themselves into a position where they can ask any sustained questions over a long period.
Tactically, I think they've got it wrong. Goalkeeper catching it, kicking it early. I'm not really sure that's the way forward. They've got to get control of the football.
Sure. Barclays Premier League leaders are in action live on Saturday Night Football this evening. Aston Villa host Chelsea, 5 o'clock, Sky Sports 1. Good header, well won by Bat.
Seen an awful lot of good, haven't they, here? The supporters of Leyton Orient, they'll be a little bit disappointed. The team haven't been able to turn this game around. And truth be told, they haven't really come very close to turning it round.
Bidwell. Challenge from Odebajo. This is so impressive for 10-man to peg 11 ambitious, needing men back like this.
It is. Well, territorially, it must have been reasonably even.
It's worth putting it into perspective, isn't it? No one expected Leyton Orient to be second on the Ides of March, and that is exactly what they are. Not for long. Brentford are about to leapfrog them. If you'd offered any Leyton Orient support of the playoffs at the start of the season, then they'd have snatched your hand off. Let's not forget there's still plenty of football to be played after this. Clayton Donaldson. There's a massive steer as to which way the 2 promotion places are going to go. Oh, that's a far challenge from Judge there. They've already lost one. Are they going to lose another here?
Well, taking his time, Bobby Madley, but that is a reckless challenge.
From what we saw of it initially, it is the sort of challenge that could have carried a red card on its own.
Yeah.
It is a yellow.
It's full throttle, full-blooded, leaves the ground, dives in. Those are the ones. Look at the view Bobby Madley's got. Deems that a yellow. Well, you've seen red cards given for less than that. Has to be said.
Harley Dean out. Donaldson has led the line in fine style since they went down to 10 men on the 15-minute mark.
Well, he's been outstanding, Donaldson, along with many of his teammates.
Forshaw, Saville. Remember, this is predominantly pretty young Brentford side. Forshaw trying to disguise the pass through to Donaldson. Here's the experienced head Douglas. Bidwell. Bagnall to Bat. Bagnall trying to sneak it in at the far post, perhaps.
Oh, it takes a deflection. Could have actually gone anywhere. Maybe as close as Leyton Orient have come to equalising. Not far away.
Is he looking for that far corner, or was that supposed to be a cross?
Thought it was a cross.
Bat blocked on the line by McCormack. Mazuzi, Clark, Bat, shouts for a penalty. The referee has a good look. It's not going to give it.
Well, it's just not going their way, is it? The chance was his initially. After that, there was a penalty shout. He felt that he was caught there. There is a little tangle of legs, isn't there? George Saville. Just prior to that, there was a header that came his way. There. No challenge. Can't really get any power or direction on it. Wonder if his teammates could have said he had a lot more time on his hands, but you've got to give credit to Alan McCormack.
Confirmation of that final Leyton Orient change. Marvin Bartley's come on into the midfield area. Couple of minutes of the 90 left. The early indications are that we could have as many as 5 added minutes here. Donaldson still bearing down.
They just seem to run out of ideas, don't they? Orient haven't had a plan since going up against the 10 men. It doesn't appear to have been a plan.
McCormack away. Out by Craig. Lancelot. Lancelot caught the man of the follow through, so it'll be free kick here for Brentford.
It must be so frustrating for Russell Slade. This is such a naive challenge because Brentford are just going to kick the ball back up the pitch. It's going to go to Leyton Orient, but Lancelot lunges in, stops the play, gives the foul away, takes the pressure off. Poor decision making.
Confirmation of 5 added minutes. Cuthbert. Bat. Well, sticking to his task. There's Forshaw. Gifted it to Omazuzi. Looking for Dagnall. Who's been absolutely superb.
Yeah, it's the right ball. Craig Dagnall should have been expecting that. Caught on his heels.
They're getting the touch ahead of Roman Vansilar. Leyton Orient throw. Vansilar. Dean Cox. Odebajo. Bat now. Off Douglas and away by Judge. Leyton Orient maybe picking the wrong day to have an off day.
Yeah, telling factor is David Button in the Brentford goal. How many saves has he been called upon to make? I can barely remember one.
That's been misjudged by Cuthbert. Here's Donaldson. Judge will just look to keep it in the corner. What a fine Donaldson. Oh, superb work from him, although it does end up as a goal kick.
Big game, he called it, didn't he? We all called it. What this victory will do if they can hang on is it put them 2 points above Orient with 2 games in hand. It will really put them in prime position.
And they'll be wary. They scored with almost the last kick of the first half, that Marcello Trotta goal. Still a couple of minutes away from the last kick of this second. Dean Cox.
They've been outstanding. They really have been fantastic. They've been the better team, both with 11 men and with 10.
Forshaw. Judge forced a little wide. Oh, it's back off the post. It looked like the chance had gone as he drifted away from goal, but then unleashed one right against the upright.
He did. Wonderful play again from Forshaw. Judge runs off him, gets the chance. The angle's against him, but he hits a rocket. Really finds that near post, near corner. Once again, it illustrates that even with 10 men, Brentford are the ones carving out the goal-scoring opportunities.
Forshaw still going, the challenge from Vansilar. You look back over the last 12 months, they've played in their fair share of big games, Brentford. They've had more than their fair share of disappointment in them. Playoff finals and, of course, that last day drama. The acrobatic and unorthodox by Saville there. It'll just be a throw-in. This comes into that category in terms of what they're looking to do this season, and they have shown a really impressive big match mentality. Notwithstanding a few lapses of discipline which saw them finish the match or play the last 50 minutes of the match without one of their centre-halves, they have looked rarely ruffled. And Brentford's surge towards the championship gathers momentum. It's another game without defeat. And more importantly, it is a big win over a big rival for automatic promotion. In the East London Sun, they move above Leyton Orient in the table. They still have 2 games in hand. 11 against 11, that would be something to celebrate. But when you consider that Brentford negotiated the whole of the second half, down to 10 men bar the first 5 minutes, and were able to cling on to the goal that was scored by Marcelo Trotta in the dying seconds of injury time of the first. This has been a very impressive marker laid down by Brentford today, Don.
It has, and I don't think anybody that's viewed and witnessed this game can argue that the better team has won. Saw Mark Warburton's celebrations at the end. I mean, he's normally a quiet, unassuming man, but you saw what it meant for him. He really feels this is a massive, massive 3 points, and I have to be in agreement with him.
Well, they have 11 games left to play. This will take them on to 76 points. Another big step in the right direction. Let's get some reaction and join Jonathan Oakes.
George, just how crucial is that for you?
Yeah, it's a massive win for us. I mean, both are at the top, and there's a bit of daylight for us now. But credit to the lads. I mean, we dug in deep, and 3 points is what we deserve.
What did you think when you went down to 10 men so soon after half-time?
Yeah, it's always difficult against the top side in the league, but I mean, credit to the back four. I mean, we dug in. It wasn't our sort of game today. I mean, not much football being played out there, but we pressed from the front and just different class from all round.
You know all about what happened at Brentford last season in the playoffs. How important is it to now go on and get automatic promotion? Yeah, it's massive for the club. I mean, and I think the fans. I think we owe it to the fans. I mean, the players that have been there a long time owe it to the fans. I mean, we just got to dig in now. There's another game, another 3 points. I think there's now 11 more games, and I'm positive. I'm confident in ourselves. Well played, George. Thanks for joining us. You are the Sky Bet.